Denisa, welcome to the show. I appreciate you being willing to come on the show and share a
Of course.
message. We want our main focus to be the results of confidence, the results of courage. We're going to focus on those two C words, courage and confidence. You took the public speaking class, and anybody can take the class and nothing can change because it doesn't matter if the class is amazing or awesome. If we don't apply those skills, we don't grow. But I know you've applied the skills in the class, and now that you're done with college, you're in medical school, I would love to share with other students listening, what are the outcomes? What are the effects of the courage and developing this confidence? So can you speak on that for us and share what are the results of putting these things into your life?
Hmm. I think that's what the class taught me the most, that when you have the confidence, and that you don't have to actually have the confidence in yourself. You can, fake it till you make it. But when you kind of have the courage, like you said, to step out there and try your best and, see how this goes, because it really is one of those opportunities, the public speaking class, that you don't always get. I really felt like the class just offers so much support and good good feedback and kind of just all the tools that you need to succeed in the classroom and to find your own style. And I think that only like when you do that, when you find that style of speaking in public, of presenting something, of building an argument or transmitting a message, then that also helps you find confidence in yourself and saying, "Oh, I am enough for this. I am good enough to be doing this, even though I went in, I never had experienced public speaking. I remember the first time I went on, my hands were kind of shaking. I was like trying to hide it. But I feel like once you discover that, oh, my ideas are good enough, and what I had in my mind translated into something awesome that people liked, and I also learned from it and the mistakes I made, I got feedback on it. I think that makes you that that can't not make you so much more confident and give you the courage to, oh, I'd like to do this again. Actually, it wasn't so bad.
Right. And that is such a common experience where giving ourselves a chance to explore in class, at least in public speaking, that's what it's there for. It is meant for us to try new things, to figure some things out, and to really just give ourselves that freedom to have some choice and dip our toes into lots of different waters and to see, hey, which one feels really good for me. And that exploration
Hmm.
requires some courage. And again, that courage gives us that confidence that we are looking for as speakers, as communicators in every area of our life,
Hmm.
not just in formal speeches. So I'm so happy to know that the content of our class was a ground for you to explore, to step forward, to step out into, and to be
Again,
courageous.
you might not always get the opportunity to speak in front of so many people and actually get feedback. So it is uncomfortable at first, but the rewards of, getting that feedback and seeing, how you can improve, are 100% worth it.
We talk about it so often in public speaking. It's common to say, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Hmm.
It's one of the core messages is we're not there to be comfortable because when we're comfortable, we're simply not growing. So being in the public speaking class, like that's the time to step up. And I equate our public speaking class to like a culinary school where we're all learning to cook and we get these recipes. And when we're in the class, we have to show that we can follow the recipe. Those organizational patterns, the structure, the nonverbal communication, the verbal communication, all the different things, our attention getters, our clinchers, we have all these ingredients and things that we need to do well in the course.
Hmm.
But then after the course is over, you change that recipe, you modify it, you add your own flavor, your own everything to it to make it your own. Now you
Mm-hmm.
take it out into the world. So tell me, how have you taken your recipe and put it out in the world here in medical school?
Well, that's actually a good point, and I think more so for me, we definitely have public speaking opportunities in medical school. We always present research projects or
Mm.
talk in front of the class if we have if you're part of like I'm a part of an e-board for a wellness club. So you have opportunities to speak in front of people, but more so I think what helped me or what I got from the class was communicating with people in general. Um, I think there are a lot of good lessons from the class that taught us how to kind of relate to people, find common ground, see what their communication style is. So I find myself more understanding when I'm collaborating with someone and maybe they don't have the same communication style as I do, but I can kind of take a step back and understand that now and adapt to that. So I think that's one of the biggest things that have helped me from the class and then I carry with me every day.
I often forget that communicating on a daily level is another, communicating effectively in our day-to-day lives is another
Hmm.
huge benefit from our course. No, we focus on the big projects, the big speeches, and all of the content of the course, but one of the things that comes from my heart is at the end of the day for everybody who takes the course to remember, number one, that their voice matters. Number two, that they can craft a message, a powerful message to share with others, whatever message that is. For you, it's going to be in terms of providing direct health care to your patients, to your
Hmm.
colleagues. But you also talked about presenting research, which very often can feel a bit dry. No offense to any of my medical folks out there. I loved you. I worked in hospital for a decade. But sometimes, and it can be any content can be boring if it's not presented with consideration for the audience. And that's the
Hmm.
third big idea from the course is give the audience a high place in the preparation process in your content. At the end of the day, the message is for the audience. It's not for us. So to always be considering our audience, and all of that in turn helps us communicate better. So
Hmm.
Denisa, if you could put your message in one sentence for our audience, what is it that you hope that they take away from your time here with me today?
I would say definitely don't be scared to put yourself out there and believe that your goals and your idea of the future um, is waiting for you and you're going to be able to get there and that everyone has their own path that you can definitely reach if you believe and put in the work towards those goals.
I love that, and it is such an important reminder for all students. Everything that we say here is for college students, whether it's you are a current college student, a recent college grad, a graduate student. These are all messages from students who want to give back, share something that they wish they knew. So, what's one thing, Denisa, that you wish you knew about courage and confidence that you know now that you wish you knew when you were a college student?
I think definitely having the courage and the confidence to take big steps and try new things and not be scared of how it's going to come across or how is this going to help me or do I have time for this? Kind of just again putting yourself out there, having that courage to, take the leap and try it because college is the time to try new things and experience and you're never going to have those opportunities again. So definitely don't be scared to just put yourself out there, try everything you can.
And it is very important to highlight and reiterate and emphasize this message. I mean, it's one thing to hear it from the older generation, myself, people older in your lives as students, but to hear it from other students directly, I think that that has a very strong impact. And you mentioned the phrase earlier, fake it till you make it. And it is a very common phrase, and I totally get the point, which is letting go of the fear, but making sure that you're still moving forward and making progress. I'm not a big fan of the word fake. So I love the phrase, do it afraid, because I feel like so many students feel I'm afraid, so I shouldn't do this. Because fear sometimes is an indicator of things that will harm us. But then there's this false fear in our mind that actually we feel the fear, but courage is doing it even when we are afraid. So I love that you're sharing this message. And if you had to put today's message on a t-shirt, so you only have so many words, what is the message that you would put on a t-shirt?
Hmm. Everything falls in place. Even though you might be even told from advisors, oh, you know this isn't for you or whatever. But if you know in your heart this is what I want to do and this is what I worked so hard for, then definitely believe in yourself and go for it.
Sometimes we don't believe in ourselves. It's just not in us that particular day or that particular season. So surrounding ourselves, and another student just recently shared a message about the importance of being around positive people and people who encourage
Hmm.
us. So we also need to seek out. Sometimes people can't always read our minds. They don't know we're having a hard time. But if they did, the people that love us would totally step up, help us get through it. So sometimes it's a matter of also being able to say, I need you.
Yeah.
I need a little help right now. And to me, that's also part of our message because it's also part of being courageous is being able to take good care of ourselves. And
Hmm.
speaking of taking good care of ourselves, is there something that you're doing that's just for you, just for fun? What are some of those fun things that you're doing right now in your life?
You have to be honest with yourself and say, what is the one thing I'm not gonna let go? For me, those things are definitely spending time with my family. I always call them. I I'm always keeping up with them. I know it can feel easy to kind of say, "Oh, I don't have time," but to me, that's something extremely important. Family is everything to me. So I organize my time in such a way that I always get to at least talk to them or see them really often, have quality time with them. Because as you said, you mentioned, having people who believe in yourself, they're my support system. Um, and I think surrounding myself with their presence also makes it easier, makes me see see an end to the challenges.
Family is a top priority for so many of us, and having that strong support system, people that believe in us, also give us confidence. Like they help us be
Hmm.
more courageous. Because the way I see it, everything we've been talking about today, confidence is the result of being courageous. And we are
Hmm.
courageous when we take steps forward in our lives, even if we're afraid. It
Yeah.
can be something as small that seems big, just raising your hand in class to speak and starting strong and not starting with, um, I kind of think, raise your hand and to say, let me share my thoughts. To be able to say that
Hmm.
confidently and to not be afraid if you're wrong, if you make a mistake. That ultimately builds confidence in you. You don't get confidence by not putting yourself out there, by not growing. Right? You have to grow, and we only grow when we're uncomfortable. So we're back to that message, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Denisa, one more question for you. If you could go back in time
Hmm.
and speak to your 18-year-old self for 15 seconds, right? This portal of time opens up. Current Denisa goes back to talk to 18-year-old Denisa, but it closes back up in 15 seconds. So you only have those few seconds. What is it that you would say to yourself?
I would definitely tell myself that you are enough and the doubts you have are valid, but they're not gonna stop you from persuading your dreams. And also don't look left and right. And it's good to have people who understand what you're doing, but at the same time, don't compare yourself to others. You know, your journey is your own, and just focus on that. Focus on your journey and putting in the work to get to where you want to be.
I agree. That comparison notion is called the comparison trap for a reason. It traps us, it keeps us stuck. I do believe that it's important to get inspiration from others. Like if we're in a class,
Mm-hmm.
let's say we're in a public speaking class, and I see a student, Denisa, she's kicking butt. Her presentations look beautiful, which your presentations always did look beautiful because you have that artist design element, which you are a beautiful artist. I remember vividly how awesome and how
Thank you.
beautiful your presentations, and I remember the hand drawn stuff. But let's say, right, I see you're another student in my class. I'm a student as well, and I see you excelling in this area. I could compare myself and be like, man, her stuff is so much better. Or I can allow that to inspire me to do better also. So I love that you said that. It is our own journey. And thank you for sharing this message about being courageous so that we can have confidence. And I really do
Yeah.
wish you the absolute best as you navigate medical school, Denise. So thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
talking
much.
with me today.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.